continue on this line. I'll start with Mr. Adkison. Now, given that the state Supreme Court has ruled that charter cities like Riverside may waive the prevailing wage requirement for some public projects, should Riverside continue to require prevailing wages on city projects? It goes to the issue of the weight of employee compensation.
That question's for me?
It is.
You're talking to the right guy.
And your city...
And that, to clarify that, and that's not the end, to clarify that, that is just for city projects that don't involve regional issues or outside the city. It's strictly city projects.
And we know that your firm, for example, is a signatory to certain union contracts.
We're signatory to the operating engineers, and I don't think that's the answer. I think the city should be paying prevailing wage, and I'll tell you why. Right now, if they don't pay prevailing wage, it's an unfair competition to those firms that are not union. So what you've done is you've excluded a certain portion of the businesses that do business in the city of Riverside. And so what's going to happen, you're going to attract more businesses from outside the city to come in to be part of the competitive bid process, and more of those jobs are going to go outside the city than stay inside the city. And one of the things the city has said is we want to have high-paying jobs, and so those companies that can't get the jobs from the city are going to go to Orange County and spend their money in Orange County, because generally you spend your money on where you work. So I'm going to say, no, we need to keep it the prevailing wage.
Mr. Bailey.
I think the focus there is quality, and I would agree with Mr. Adkison that we need to look at the benefits and costs of that policy and come to the table with the unions and with the merit shops and with the stakeholders that are out there and figure out a plan forward. And one of the things we've done in the city, and I brought to the table, is the design-build process, which allows us to choose as city council which projects we want and how we want them to hire local or purchase local. Just recently, we created a community benefit plan to go on the top of the design-build packet, letting every contractor know if that's what they want to do, then they have to provide a community benefit to the city.
I want to continue on this line and ask you, how would you work with the city council to ensure city policies maximize competition and opportunity when awarding city contracts, such as the one held now by American Medical Response? And we're going to start with Mr. Bailey, and then we'll move on to Mr. Adkison.
Well, I think, again, it goes back to quality. And that's what the residents expect of us and deserve from us. What is the best quality contract? Unfortunately, or fortunately, the state law allows us in some contracts to only look at the bottom line and the cost of that contract. And so the minimum bidder wins that contract. And as I was mentioning, in a design-build type of contract, that allows us to pick and choose who we would like because of the quality of their product, because of what they bring to the table, because of their ability to either hire local or to purchase local or to hire veterans. There's a provision now in the design-build community benefit plan that we have to make sure and connect with veterans groups, which is a population coming back that is a higher rate of unemployment than the rest of folks out there.
Mr. Adkison, rebuttal?
Yeah, I think competition is good. I think without competition, there is no litmus test to see if you're getting value for the services that are being received. So I would put it out for competition. There's two components to AMR. There's the emergency medical response, and then there's the non-emergency medical response. And you have to treat each one of those different, because there might be some long-term contracts where they've invested in capital and different things. But competition is always good. To give you an example, Nuco Waste had the trash contract in here for years. Evergreen contract, gave them a 10-year notice to terminate the contract. And when the new trash, in fact, we've got 3 trash companies now instead of the one, the rates went down about 30%.
Now
and the quality was still there.
Okay.